Okie dokie. Hello, everybody.
Here we go.
This is Dissonant Waves, episode 119. Whew. My name is Dominic. Ritz and Tricks are here. Tricks is, we got the lo-fi version of Tricks this time.
Yeah, I think the cat stole my fucking microphone.
Your cat
This
needs to
is
play
the,
some Warzone.
This
Yeah,
is the
your mom is
controversial week, just
and
looking at the media. I'm interrupting Tricks because Tricks has got
I was
fucking.
just making hot mic jokes.
Oh.
Yeah, I can barely hear Tricks at the moment, but
Oh,
at
God.
the time of recording this, not only is the Qatar World Cup happening around here, we also have the good old Elon Musk reinstating Trump on here, so we have decided to completely bypass all political talk by instead talking about music. How good is that?
It is beautiful, just watching all of the shit posts on Twitter as we all go down with the fucking Titanic, fucking fiddling away.
And when this goes up in a month, it'll be interesting to see where things land, because this is November 20th on my end, as of right now.
So yeah, like December something.
Yeah.
This might be our Christmas episode, guys.
Yeah. The Petit League episode's going up next week, so that's our Thanksgiving episode.
Good Thanksgiving episode, I'm not gonna lie.
It's all about family, you know?
Yeah.
Now,
Speaking of
we
family,
have a lot. We have a lot to cover, don't we, today?
Oh, yes, we do.
Fuck yeah, we do.
Want to start naming the albums here?
Yeah. All right. We got from Ritz. We've got Proper, the Great American Novel, and we've got Nouns, While of Unsound Mind. From me, we've got Beach Bunny's Emotional Creature and Arlie's Break the Curse, along with a couple singles. Then Trix chose a bunch of EPs. The Joy Again, either self-titled or just called EP. The Frights For Sure EP. Joe P's French Blonde EP. Dr. Dog's Wild Race EP with the Hard at Races cover we agreed upon. And lastly but not leastly, Shakey Graves is back again with Look Alive EP.
Indeed.
So I'd like to open the floor by proposing we talk about the album or EP that I think Ritz and I would have the least to say about.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about the Frights.
You are correct.
This is a very shitty EP. I just kind of wanted to cover it strictly just so that we could talk about Delmar Zombies.
Oh, I mean, I could barely remember that song because it's just surrounded by so much nothingness.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say about the Frights for sure is Delmar Zombies.
What do you like about
it? It's just a fucking ripping tune. I can't explain it. It's just a tune.
We covered the Frights a while back, didn't we? I'm trying to remember how to.
Yes, a year ago.
Yes.
It's from what I remember from a lot of the surf rock that has been covered. Usually it's actually me and Trix are the ones that are incredibly for it, and you would think again, you know, even after the lukewarm reception I gave the Frights a long time ago, maybe I'd come around to some more surf rock. But no, this is boring. I really don't give a shit.
This wasn't even me trying to lure you in with surf rock. This was me just wanting to say oh, Delmar Zombies is a good tune, and I wanted a fifth EP to round it out. You know.
I think you should have just made us listen to Delmar Zombies then, in that case, instead of extending it out even further.
I mean, it's basically an album. Like it's 20-some minutes and it's 8 songs.
It's longer than I Became Birds in both length and feel.
And amount of songs.
Yeah.
Which again, there are 8 songs. 2 of them are like less than a minute long, which is fine. But like when you're talking throwback, like 50s, 60s, really basic songwriting, you might have one song that you like that stands out. But like, I can't even remember what they were accused of in the whole Burger Records controversy anymore right now.
Grooming.
Of course. Yeah. But I feel like whatever it is, it's fitting. Especially with a song like High School Girls.
Yeah.
This is the same year as the Frights debut, so I don't think it's any surprise that we did not like their debut last year very much, except for Trix. And the same year, the previous EP has not had much better reception.
My big issue about bringing up this EP is it's the same with the debut, I guess. At least at the debut though, Trix, it was being brought up as you thought, you know, this is at least an interesting what you thought it would be. Surf rock to cover despite this, but it's we've practically covered this again, and I'm not quite sure if I'm comfortable talking about these people any further.
Fair enough.
That's basically where I am, so I'm gonna leave it there. I got nothing else to say about it.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that, I guess.
They are at the bottom of the list for me. So
Yep.
let's talk about a
Yeah.
better 60s, 70s revival, actually, then. Unless anyone wants to mention any other songs specifically other than Delmar Zombies. Okay, great.
No, I'm good.
Now let's talk about Dr. Dog.
I like this one.
So, I'm gonna put out my take here, Trix.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate you for not picking this would be the void.
Okay.
I think there are songs better that are on here that are better than. I like Be the Void. I think it's fine. I'm not crazy about it and everything, but I think this EP has some songs that are better. Specifically, why the fuck is Be the Void not on Be the Void? It's
that's a good question.
incredible. It's an incredible song. It's probably one of my favorite Dr. Dog songs now.
I mean,
we're also attached the cover onto this as well, by the way, because it's probably not to be attached song.
Yeah.
Planet Races is fine.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about it too. I'm not familiar with the original.
I find it always just interesting that for a very long time it was their most popular song on Spotify.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You are right.
Interestingly enough, it is actually it was released as a part of the single for Architecture in Helsinki. I have legitimate proof of that because the copy of the single that I have has the Dr. Dog cover on there. And I don't know if that's some American thing or something like that. But if I look on Spotify now, it's a completely different band that's doing a cover of Hard at Races on the single. I don't know if it's like that for you, Dominic. Have you checked?
I just went to YouTube to find the cover.
Yeah, Soft Tigers is the version on my Spotify, but the actual like polyvinyl and stuff released of it, yeah, that had the Dr. Dog cover. So that's what its creation was. And I did share the original in chat. It is quite a more abrasive pop song. Like, it's very arty, is the way I describe it.
Like early Wombatsy?
No, I wouldn't compare Architecture to Wombats. I think they're two different bands. But basically, like, this is just an indie rock tune. This cover.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think it's. I don't want to really pick it in the case of like I think this is a absolutely mind-blowing blowing cover. I think it's a good cover. It's fine. But I do plan to cover Architecture.
Yeah.
Wanted to just get one way of introducing that, if that be slowly.
Sure.
As it is.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Dr. Dog's pretty good. Like, I like this EP quite a bit. Except for Sale, I forgot that I had listened to on the album because it was a bonus track. And then it was mentioned in the chat that I had, because I mentioned it at the time that I liked it because it was like a very 70s song. But now I realize it's just a Beatles song.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a Beatles song. Like, more than most.
Yeah, Dr. Dog always has had kind of like a Beatles-y vibe to it that I never quite put together.
And it's like, for a band from like 1999 getting this far into their career and doing all this stuff, I would not expect that necessarily, but it works really well for them.
Yeah.
It was a good EP. I don't know if I can describe anything else here that hasn't actually already been said. I think this is one of those, I agree with you, then take my paycheck type of reviews here.
Yeah.
But I found just the tunes on here to be a lot more exciting than some of the stuff off Be the Void. Which, don't get me wrong, there were some good songs off Be the Void. I like Do the Trick. I think the opener Lonesome as well was probably still one of my favorites off that album as well. But then if you ask me to name any of the other songs, it starts going like, okay, well, I can't really remember that and stuff. And it'll probably be actually the case off this album as well. I'll probably forget some of it, but I just felt like this was a lot more better in its short period than some of their albums have been for me.
Yeah,
I can get that.
I think this is a great reintroduction for me because, like, I remember liking Be the Void, but that was so long ago and like never really went back to it. So I'm glad that we kind of had this reappraisal, especially with songs that were either should have been on there or were on there.
Yeah.
The one thing I will never understand about my music collection, I have 6 Dr. Dog CDs. Where did I find all? I know I ordered Be the Void after we did it. That was pretty early on when I was ordering a lot of these. But where the fuck did I find B Room? Where the fuck did I find Easy Beat? Where did I find We All Belong?
To quote Good Omens, any cassette less than in a car for more than 6 months turns into Queen's greatest hits, and I'm guessing Dr. Dog CDs just appear in CD collections.
That's I can understand owning Fate and Shame. I'm pretty sure those are their two bigger albums, but like,
yes.
Where did fucking everything else come from? Where did I find this shit?
Well, where did you find Portions?
Yeah, good question, man. I don't even know anymore.
You just woke up in a field with Portions scratched into your arm.
I want you to notice how in every shopping center has the word exits. Exits. Still, I like Portions, but my god, that is still the worst fucking opening quote.
Yeah.
Yes. It's pretentious. There's that obsession with this is not an exit from like American Psycho, I feel like that kind of stems from. But yeah.
Do you listen to Seismic Portions? Okay.
Well, their best song was Portions, the instrumental. Some people complained that the vocalist and the instrumentalist never really had the great chemistry that they seem to have on stage. But I disagree.
Hey Paul, it's you. You're the American Psycho. That's the word, right? Good EP. I like this. I do agree. Exit for Sale. Sorry, let's fucking think of that. And Be the Void are the best songs on here.
Yeah.
I think probably least favorite is probably What a Fool. It's
I have a full agree.
Yeah.
I don't have a least favorite.
And I do like the Hard Races cover. It's nothing special, but you know, it's a nice little indie rock cover. It was pretty interesting to see. I'm pretty sure Dr. Dog have finished their last ever tour, haven't they?
Supposedly.
I think so.
And I do remember seeing in the set list they were still doing that one, which I thought was interesting.
Be the Void or Exit for Sale?
No, the cover.
Oh, they're still playing it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
If I check, I'll go on the set list FM right now. I'll do it, you cowards. Dr. Dog, the last ever song that they played. Let's see. On the last ever show that they've done so far, December 31st, 2021, 17th song. 2 songs before the encore. Hard at Races is on there, and that's a 29 song set list, I guess. So it's not like it's not like that one's, I guess. That's oh god, that was a New Year's Eve concert, so they were just playing fucking until midnight, I guess.
Damn.
I guess so.
But like, you take a look at all the other shows that they were playing. Like, we'll take a look at Stubbs Barbecue Bar, where that one was 24 song set list, and that's pretty good. First song, they started off with Hard Races, so it was basically like a staple of their set list at the end. I think it's interesting.
I think most artists by now, if they're still paying attention, they will just play the hits on Spotify for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I think Lorenzo made a special notice to play Not Always Happy when we saw him in Nashville.
He did.
I don't remember if he did it in Kansas City, but I know he did it for sure in Nashville.
Well, it's just, I find it always arguable that the cover is more popular at the moment. I mean, in Australia, the original was a hit, and that's no doubt, but just worldwide and stuff. I think it's pretty arguable, and maybe even close to unarguable, that the cover is more of a bigger hit than the original.
I never heard of it before this week.
Yeah. Well,
but which is not really a good sample size, but
yeah,
like, I'm just taking your word for it at this point. Like, okay, that's amazing. I'm glad that Dr. Dog has had a little moment and imprint to be that successful.
Yeah.
Good EP.
Yeah.
Good EP.
Now, Dominic, I'm going to let you, unless Trix has any objections, just keep choosing which is the next one we pick.
Go right ahead, Dominic.
All right. Since we are continuing a trend of covering songs we kind of covered before, it's not exactly the same, but let's talk about the Joe P EP. Because I had to look it up. The Emily Can't Sing track on here is different than the last year's Emily Can't Sing track.
I looked it up too. I knew it, I could tell it was.
But it's a similar structure, and I still think it's weird that he's doing that.
Yeah.
This is my favorite out of all the things that Trix has picked this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And half of it's just covers of his old man Deal Casino.
Yeah.
I was surprised that I was really into this, actually. Like, Kids in the Summer was probably the song in here, which I was kind of like, it's one of those slow burner build-up songs, but I thought they did it really well. I thought really the only moment on here which I was kind of like, okay, what the fuck are they doing now, is just the Emily Can't Sing interlude. So I don't think this is perfect record by any means. I know this is probably just a bunch of B-sides or other stuff that it's done as well. It looks like it's just a pretty quick release. It doesn't look like anything else that's been it doesn't look like anything has been released beforehand or any build up, but
No,
I could be wrong about that.
Let me get the breakdown here, but if you want to speak, Trix, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure the I'm on Fire cover is just a YouTube video.
That you were very broken for that. Can you speak a little louder on that?
I'm pretty sure that the I'm on Fire cover was a rip right from a YouTube video he uploaded.
Really? That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So you know where you've got your mic right now to talk there, Trix? Keep it like that for the rest of the episode.
I'm leaning. I can't look at my laptop that way.
That's fine.
Okay, I'll just hold it.
All right. So of this EP, French Blonde itself is a Deal Casino song. Happy People is a Deal Casino song. Emily Can't Sing is a repeat song. Like, it's the same title and everything. Same idea.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen cover, I'm on Fire. And Color TV is also a Deal Casino song. So
that's interesting.
On the whole, there's 2 new songs here. Kids in the Summer and All Day I Dream About.
So is Deal Casino just broken up or something? Or?
Yeah, they broke up like at the beginning of last year, and that's when he started doing his own thing.
Cool.
And the 2 that he wrote himself, I'm going to be honest, are the 2 that I think are the like super standout tracks.
Well, he also talked about that he did those Deal Casino songs because he wrote them, and the band did not write them. So that he felt that they were his to do with what he wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's I think it's an improvement over Emily Can't Sing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And like, I liked Yellow Light. I still like that song quite a bit, but I think this shows his versatility a lot more. Like, there's a lot more going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was just, I guess the way to describe it for anyone who hasn't listened to Joe P, this was indie pop. I don't think there's any other description I can really give about this.
It's indie pop.
But it's good indie pop. I was down for this. I thought, was it groundbreaking? No, but was it executed well? Yeah, actually surprised me. I thought I was going to be really bored by this one, but ended up thinking that this is. I don't think this will be an EP of the year. I think that's still probably going to go to Depart for me at the moment, but I can realistically see this in my top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of what we listened to this week, honestly. And so I feel like, you know, where my list is, this might seem low, but most of this list is pretty high overall. Yeah. Like in the context of like the whole year. So like,
I mean, I picked Dog. Basically, I picked fucking Dominic.
What?
I picked Dominic-bait this week.
Yeah. And like, you know, I think it's funny that Joe P lives in Asbury Park, which is Springsteen land in New Jersey. So, of course, he covers a Bruce Springsteen song. Like, that's literally the description. What was that?
That's literally the description.
That's literally the description?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember, keep your head where it was.
Yeah.
No, this is cool. It's kind of thrown together, and it's kind of just like re-recordings and stuff, but like for what amounts to 2 new tracks and introducing us to a lot of Deal Casino tracks that were pretty good. I like it. And I mean, Joe P's blown up quite a bit on like TikTok. He's touring for Spacey Jane. He toured with Middle Kids. He is getting out there and doing stuff.
I didn't realize he had toured with that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He was in Chicago a few weeks ago. They were apparently sold out shows. So
yeah, there's the one at the Space Ballroom last year. Should have gone just for middle kids. To be honest, that would have been a great show.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we talked about TikTok successes before. That's why I brought Talk on a few months ago. But Joe P is another really good example of like, here's an artist who is more entrenched as an artist, of course, and is like proven himself more, and that he was in a band before and blew up. Like, oh, he's turning that into like tours and like doing EPs and stuff, and quickly finding that success and keeping it going, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Although we still have to put out when we go on and talk about Talk, we still have to mention one of the most annoying covers of this year.
I would save a life.
Yeah, that's I'm thinking about doing a bottom 10 tracks of the year again this year. We'll see how it goes. That could be in contention.
I mean, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
My only request for Joe P though is to like, I don't get the appeal of like, oh, my girlfriend can't sing.
I thought Emily.
What?
I thought Emily.
Closer to
Was
the mic.
his sister?
I thought Emily was his
Sister?
yes.
Yeah, okay. There we go. We got there in the end. I thought so
Okay.
too. That's what I was assuming
Maybe.
it was.
Yeah.
That could very well be.
So,
I
like-
don't know.
So like I could see it as like a weird sibling thing, and like that makes sense.
I'm closer.
I'm fucking as close as I can be.
You're trailing off.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Can't do it.
yeah.
Where's
So
where's
Kivia's
Joe P
sister.
based?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Alright, well, I was gonna say it could be both, but it's not.
So I mean, yeah, if Emily's his sister, then I get it a bit more. That's kind of more humorous, I guess.
Yeah.
So in that
Like,
context,
I could
sure.
see doing something like that with my siblings.
That's fair. So I can't wait for EP3 or album 1 where it's Emily Can't Sing 2023 or 2024.
Yeah.
Hopefully she gets some money and credit for doing those.
Yeah.
Um,
Who knows?
Also, just want to mention that we both have this separate realization that I'm on Fire is a Bruce Springsteen cover, and also Shakey Graves did it.
Yeah.
But his
That we
cover
did.
is so different.
It is.
So it's I think the Shakey Graves cover is better than this one, but this one's a nice little basic like rendition.
Yeah.
Good EP.
Good EP.
Yeah.
Favorites, I agree with Tricks, by the way, that the ones that were written for this EP basically are the
It's in the Summer and All I Dream About.
Yeah.
And at least favorites probably the probably obviously the interlude, but if I had to give it to a song, probably the cover. Probably I'm on Fire.
Full agreement.
Yeah.
Good marks for Joe
Well,
P.
we're going unanimous today, aren't we?
Yeah.
That'll change soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, we've covered a few EPs. Let's switch over to an album. Are we feeling...
You're the one choosing. You're the
Okay.
one choosing.
Since we went indie pop, let's continue with indie pop. Let's go to Arlie. Break the Curse.
You could convince me this is a different band.
Really?
Yeah.
I
don't know. It was hitting.
I thought it was the same band. Like this is what I wanted. Like I like tossing and turning quite a bit from Wait, and this feels more like that.
Fair enough.
We also did some singles, by the way, for this, but they were pretty forgettable. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Blackboard.edu.
This has been a surprisingly good week because this album was an improvement on basically all fronts. I probably still prefer the Joe P, not going to lie. I did have Arlie kind of like I had known about this album for a while. I'd had it in my shortlist playlist over the year, just to kind of like give it a listen and stuff. And it's trying to be catchy indie pop in here as well. And
Yeah.
is it great? It's not fantastic, but it's fine.
It works for a
I thought it was-
debut.
I thought it was an improvement on their previous stuff.
I like it. I think it's pretty consistent overall. There's some really interesting, weird songs on it. Like the title track is pretty odd and interesting for like an indie pop song. And like Ice Trays has some nice hits in it too that I quite like. And like those heavier guitar moments.
Yeah.
There's kind of like this is like a 4-year wait basically that we've had. You know, if we listened to Wait in 2018. So it's nice to see them coming back and coming like they're on Atlantic recording, so they have like a major record label behind them doing this stuff. So like they were trying to put their best foot forward.
Yeah.
And I made fun of their. So for whatever reason I conflated the thick album art with Arlie at some point, and I made the podcast art for that episode Arlie. So I feel like I had to pick them at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is solid. I like this quite a bit. And they've had 10 a lot of singles. I don't think there's anything really terrible on here. I think, a song like Wait a Minute, if we're calling about like 60s songs again, Wait a Minute's a pretty good Beach Boys tribute.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big enough Beach Boys fan to tell you what a good tribute is or not. I still need to listen to Pet Sounds in a proper way. I
That's
fully
fair.
admit that.
I guess more just to say it sounds like it could be a Beach Boys style song. So, I mean, it's not thematically that, because it's kind of about like being at your own funeral and just like seeing how everyone's reacting to your body and all that stuff, but in presentation, instrumentation, it feels like a early boy band type track, like a Beach Boys thing.
Yeah. I don't know if I got the words to dispute anything you said.
I was also reminded of Hot Flash Heat Wave a bit.
I can see that.
I feel like there's some similarities between them. They have a non-binary singer fronting both of them. They got a good indie pop sound. Hot Flash Heat Waves had more music behind them to strengthen them, but I think this album is probably better than Sportswear.
I don't know. Sportswear is really good.
Sportswear has some good hits. Vampires is a great song. Vampires is better than any individual song on here, but
Bay Boys really grew on me.
I mean, they got some nice songs. Like Landline is kind of that like Hotline Bling-esque song, and Karma kind of reminds me of like it has a couple moments that remind me of Caught in the Moment by Origami Angel. So they have a little variety of influences maybe, or just are exploring that indie rock pop thing in their own way.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're talking about it like it's an EP, but it's good, but it's not mind blowing, and we got a lot to get through, I guess.
Yeah. I guess that's kind of the best way to put it. Like, I feel like this would have done well on a week where it was up against just regular albums.
Probably.
Depends on the album, I guess.
Yeah.
It was fun listen. I don't think it beats many of the EPs that we've covered here this week though. I've been doing the favorites and least favorites, and everyone's been agreeing. So I'm gonna make Tricks to the favorites and least favorites here.
Favorite for me. I gotta pull back for a second so I can look at my phone for the track list.
I'll lean away from the mic to breathe in.
Chocolate Rain.
Crashing Down I really liked. And wait a minute.
Just Crashing Down to Wait a Minute was all you said? What?
Tricks is dying constantly.
You're far away. So far.
Landline.
Landline, there we go.
She said Landline, which if she didn't have mentioned that, I was going to point out, else I do agree.
No least favorites, got it. My favorites, I like Landline, I like Ice Trays. Poppin' was kind of cool. No least favorites, really.
Favorite is definitely Landline on here. Least favorite, Cool.
Yeah, Cool kind of grew on me a little bit toward the end, but it's sure. I think Cool into Ice Trays was really nice. But okay.
What else do you think is nice this week, huh?
Well, we're going just on nice. Well, this is an album, or let's go back to an EP for a sec. This is an EP that I like, but I feel like is getting left in the dust with so much else. And of course, I'm talking about the Joy Again EP.
Fair enough.
This would be where we finally get some disagreements as well. I think it's better than the Frights. I still didn't really care about this one.
Like, it was fine, and I think in a smaller week it would have gotten more attention because there are some decent tracks.
Yeah,
but it's there's just so much else to talk about. I feel like that it's like, oh yeah, this is a nice little like 4-track thing. Necromancer's apparently blowing up quite a bit. Witcher Snakes is kind of that nice little emotional, not quite keeping pitch, but you know, it works on that like gut level a little bit song. And you said, Trix, you've been waiting to do this one for a while.
Yeah, just I fucking love a song about ghosts and Necromancer so much. Necromancer is like genuinely one of my favorite love songs.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm wrong. It's a 5-track EP. Oh my god. Um, why is it one of your favorite love songs?
I don't know. It's just
she's in love with dead people.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just that it's a love song that's like completely detached of like relying on like corporeal forms, if that makes any sense. Like it's a love song I can appreciate from more of an asexual position. I don't know how to explain it other than that.
It's not like a Machine Gun Fellatio style.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. And in the realm of things, this is another band that is not put out much recently, unlike Joe P, but is currently touring. Kind of.
Yeah.
They had just toured with Snail Mail.
Huh.
So, presumably, hopefully, they're putting out new stuff after this. But I know, Trixie said you were kind of hoping they would put out more, but they haven't.
Yeah.
Speaking of Snail Mail, you remember that time she put out an Instagram post that was incredibly biphobic and then tried to say, oh, no, I didn't mean it to be biphobic, so it wasn't?
I have not heard of this.
I've not heard of this either.
This was fucking funny. I don't know what she expected.
Just like I didn't hear about the Win Butler accusations until the other day.
Yeah, what did she post? She posted... God, where was the fucking line? It was actually really fucking stupid. And I'm trying to get the actual full line here, so I'm not paraphrasing or anything. Yeah, she posts, women who write about women solely for profit, post a pic of your boyfriend. Go. So basically, she was calling anybody who wrote like lesbian love songs and had a boyfriend as fake, basically. So completely ignoring bisexuality. And then her defense was, I posted a story yesterday about the issue of queer baiting in music. As a lesbian, I feel... as I lesbian, I feel like I have every right to voice my concerns in this area. The story was not directed at bi people or anyone specific. It was referencing the commodification of queerness. Do we have a problem with that, or are we good? Yeah, that was her defense.
Oh, she got a little angry in that last one.
Yeah, that was she kind of completely ignored the issue of just saying that any, woman who's in love with women who have a boyfriend and calling them out only for profit there was incredibly biphobic. That's just not there's no like around that or anything. That wasn't one of those. Yeah, there wasn't one of those actual cases of like, oh, this is a misunderstanding. No, she was a fucking idiot. And then said, I'm queer myself, so I couldn't have fucked up. Nah, you did, Snail Mail. Sorry. Take the L.
That's why you're not on the podcast yet.
I think the funny part about that as well, I remember, was that Phoebe Bridgers posted a picture of her boyfriend right afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's debatable about whether... Because she never tagged or anything, so it's debatable about whether or not it was a response or not.
Oh,
fucking...
But... I think, another song about Ghosts is pretty good. I think Mistakes is the weakest song on the album, and having it start out the EP kind of weakens it a little bit, and then it gets better. Speak louder, please, Trix.
This EP,
Trix, get into the mic, put your mouth on the mic, lick it if you have to. It
fucking is, dude. But when I listen to this EP, I usually just end up skipping Mistakes and go right on to a song about ghosts.
Fair enough. Okay. I could see that then. Might as well be a 4-track EP.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like the cover is something I've seen around.
I've definitely posted it in chat before.
That's probably where I've seen it. Yeah. Probably one of my lesser favorite EPs that's been put on display this week. But I will give it props for being decent.
It was better than the worst.
Yes.
Pretty unanimous week, not gonna lie.
Winter Snakes is cool. I think another song about Ghost is fine. Ritz, do you have any specific favorites, or least favorites from this?
Not particularly.
This will probably be higher ranked for me than you guys.
Fair enough. Something I do have ranked lower than it, though. I'll tell you right now. Beach Bunny. Emotional Creature.
I have it ranked higher by a lot. I think there's some good songs off this. Does it have the same kind of flaws that the debut has? Well, no. I think there's a bit more maturity in the songwriting, and I think there's a little less angst in this. Does it still have some rough around the edges to it? Absolutely. Is it a disappointment compared to what the singles had? Probably.
Yeah, well, I guess for me, I liked Oxygen a lot, and Oxygen is one of the best songs on here. I don't feel like a lot really touches it.
I think Fire Escape's the best song off here by far. But here's the thing that I've noticed about Beach Bunny, and probably the cases on here, and it wasn't so much the EP. I have found that the songs that really peak off the Beach Bunny records peak after a lot of listens, and then you start to really get them ingrained into your head, and that's when you like them. Like Entropy, the actual intro, you're probably not got that in your favorites at the moment, but it's actually kind of just kept stucking in my head, and there's now Stockholm Syndrome to turn into one of my favorites on here. But that being said, I do think the best songs actually on here are Oxygen and Fire Escape, which are both singles.
Yeah, fair enough. Fire Escape,
I like just how the way the song kind of just flows casually, and it's a very kind of slacker pop, and I think it's done well. I personally think it's done well.
Reminds me of like a Sonic track in a way, like the guitar goes pretty hard on like that butt rock kind of stuff.
At the end, yeah, I think butt rock is probably a fair enough term, but I also don't think butt rock also has to be an insulting term. I think it's fun description.
That too. That's just the term that I'm familiar with. That's not. I'm not using it as pejorative.
I don't know. I find it very kind of like very like chill but casual, and it's kind of like it's near an indie rock tune, but I feel it still has the pop rock elements to it. And I think it's. I think it's the most different song out of everything else on here outside of Oxygen. I think a lot of other songs have too much elements that share. Like I don't know if I could tell you a difference between Gravity or Infinity Room.
Well, Gravity has the synths and is very like focused on that, and that's like when the synths start kicking in more often, and then Infinity Room is a bit of a acoustic cut.
Yeah.
I would say like Infinity Room is like Infinity Room.
I picked two fucking.
Fair enough. You just picked two songs at random.
Yeah.
Infinity Room is kind of like her Miley Cyrus moment, I would say, and that she's kind of channeling that like mid 2010s acoustic. And then I would say Love Song is her Taylor Swift moment, where she's trying to go for that like a bit longer, like really like pop rock appeal.
I think after Fire Escape, this album is like it really quickly starts to go down in quality, in my opinion. Like I tried getting into karaoke a lot more, which I still think is probably the best song out of all the stuff on the second half. But then it just doesn't actually touch the first half of this album better. And then it's just like, yeah, I think it's a slight improvement over the first album. Like, I still like this album. I don't think it's a great album. I still like it. I think the debut album, which if you go back to it, I think had higher peaks to it. Like, I think Promises and Cloud9 are still two really fucking great songs.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's definitely a lot of hate for Dream Boy, and probably fairly so, to be honest.
Trixie, I think you've been quiet, but I don't know if it's because of the mic situation or just.
I don't have too much about this album to say. Like, I can't tell if I liked it more than I liked their debut, and there's just kind of songs on it that I like, but like most of it's just kind of meh for me.
That's kind of how I feel. Like, I like Lily's voice. I like Lily. I like what they're going for. Like I was saying before the show, I had this on in the car with a coworker, and my coworker was like, "This is really inspired by Paramore." And then she was like, "You know, I get like being inspired by bands. I think Paramore is just too big to steal from at this point."
Yeah.
So I never listened to Paramore, so that's maybe a context that I'm missing. But I thought that was pretty
Well, I mean,
damning.
there was the whole Olivia Rodrigo thing.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that was like a whole, but I mean that one was also with brutal as well. With a lot of people in Australia who went and said like, "Oh man, they're just ripping off Rogue Traders," and I was like, "Yeah, but Rogue Traders just ripped off Elvis Costello."
I don't really put a lot of stock in those lawsuits because I think, you know, my opinions on IP and all that shit is another topic.
Yeah, fair enough.
Ironically, I was more upset that the song "Scream" wasn't a Michael Jackson cover. I think I was just so ready for something else. I would have liked a cover of that song more than just another song. But it's a decent album. It's just, I think Oxygen really set my expectations pretty high.
I think that's. I still think the songs were better than Oxygen personally.
Yes. Oh,
I think
really?
Yeah. But that's just my personal taste. I'm more maybe Good Girls Don't Get Used.
Ah, okay.
I think it's probably Oxygen I like as much as Lovesick, to be honest. I think there's still good songs in here. I think Beach Bunny are a lot better in a shorter release that we get from them. That being said, I still think they put out good songs, so it's like, you get what you get with them.
My one little other gripe I have is that they really went with like a sci-fi visual style for this album, and it just doesn't translate into the songs really.
Yeah.
Like she was talking in interviews, Lily, about how like she wants that to be the visual style. Like, you know, she was thinking about, you know, sci-fi things with those songs playing over it. You know, she got really into sci-fi over the pandemic, which is fine.
We all have gotten really into sci-fi at some point or another, I'm sure.
I just kind of wish...
I have 6 sci-fi paperbacks within arm's reach of me.
Fair. I just wish beyond having like synths on the later half of the album, there was like something more that was tying that visual style to the album, because I think it's really striking. I think the album art looks pretty nice, and the cover for Oxygen, the single, is really nice too. Like, it evokes that 50s old style. Like, the guy on there is clearly inspired by like Watchmen's Dr. Manhattan and stuff like that.
Oh, the thing is that the
under my bed.
Watchmen was a good film. I actually liked that film, but the Oxygen album art kind of just explains the actual album art, and then there's nothing else.
Right. Like, there's more in the videos, which we didn't watch for the podcast at least, but like
Beach Bunny lore.
I just feel like that was something that they could have really utilized more to the advantage of the album instead of just letting it.
I just want to point out with Beach Bunny lore, I like how the iceberg could actually go from like prime cream at the tip of the iceberg, and then the actual fucking bottom of the iceberg is Cardinal Heart.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what a fucking iceberg.
We've attacked that iceberg at all different angles.
Yeah.
Because we kind of went from Beach Bunny, then I think we did Weekend Run Club, and then Cardinal Heart.
Yeah.
And we've kind of jumped all over it ever since. Separation between Beach Bunny and OK Cool is not that far.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Anyway.
It's an alright album. That's really...
I wish it was just better.
I'd rather listen to early Beach Bunny.
I like that EP.
Favorites, Oxygen, Fire Escape, Entropy. Least favorite, Love Song.
I like Oxygen. My least favorite's probably something like Weeds or something.
Weeds is too catchy for me to put it down there. I
can't really be fucked to say either way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Gotta go with Oxygen, and I'm also gonna throw on Gravity. I really enjoyed Gravity.
Yeah, I guess I enjoy the synthiness of that enough. But...
And least favorite, I don't know.
Well, whilst Trix thinks of that, Dominic, you gotta pick the next record we're covering.
Yeah, we're getting through things.
Yeah, we've still got quite a bit here. We've got 4 more, don't we?
Not really.
Well, one's an EP, and then
we have 3 more, I think.
3 more. Let's see, 1, 2.
You've done Joy Again. You've done the Frights.
Yeah. You know, you are absolutely right. We got 3 more, and one of them's an EP.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Nouns.
Yeah, so this is Dominic-bait, and I refuse to give any more description.
See, you say that, but like, you also like threw other Dominic-bait under the rug and did not mention it at all.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Proper is also Dominic-bait. So
They're both Dominic. This week was Dominic-bait.
But so Nouns is like an album where I'm like, this is like the interior of somebody's mind, and I don't know if I should be here.
That is fucking fair.
Because like, there's not a lot of context on the Bandcamp itself, but if you look at the context under last year's release, The Only Place of Dying, there is a ton of shit on that. Like, because Nouns had a really big absence, kind of like Arlie did, except way longer, from 2014 to 2021. And Lonely Place of Dying helps fill some of the void of just like how Hunter is his name, Hunter Man. He met a lot of people, got into like a music community in Little Rock, Arkansas, where he's based, and just kind of going through like how this person died, and then this person died, and then this person died, and then this person died, and just going through how all of that like affected him over this like several year period.
See, I want to point out as well, just kind of like a big difference, and you noticed it from a review where I forgot what site that review was in, but they were comparing it and saying like this band based to create one of the recent ones. This was Sputnik Music, so this would be reviewed probably by Bevy or something like at least close to that, and compared it to Bigger Boot and Stomach Book.
Yeah.
And Bigger Boot's album topic, well, you know, it did talk about depression, but mostly the concept around it was about getting fired from JB Hi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
That was what a lot of the stuff came in. So it was basically a bit about like a bit of depression and stuff about being fired from the coach. It wasn't really as serious as fucking Nouns.
And Stomach Book is like just a deconstruction, just having a really good time, and just kind of I don't even think it's really in the same conversation. Like it's
I would argue about Stomach Book having a good time when
I mean, not literally a good time.
The opening track kind of disproves that. Yeah.
Not literally having a good time, but like the art in that is so different and has a different purpose, and is so like over the album, it's very cartoonish in some ways, and I would argue it's still fun and whimsical despite being dark and like really gory and bloody at times as well.
Here's some lyrics on here on Interlude, the opening tracks. I love my mother, I love my father, I love my nana, I love my pawpaw, I love my dogs, I love my bedroom, but I can't let the bottle go.
Yeah.
Yep. Just yep. Yeah, it's one of those lines I kind of like, where you just like, you wonder what the fuck they're on about, and then the last line comes in like, okay. Okay, now I understand what you're meaning. Is it a really creative line? No, I think it works well with how this album goes. I think there's also, despite all this kind of like nature behind this and stuff like that, it definitely gets lost in what is some really fucking interesting instrumentation on it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sentai Crori. Holy fuck! I just want to dance to that fucking thing.
It's wild.
Yeah, it is
wild, man. Fucking great.
And then when Amita Drive really kicks in the gear at like halfway through, like, and then like Paranol's there, and like on a side note, there's so much like Japanese on this album and Korean too. Like I think Hunter Man's just like some white dude, but he's really letting it go to like the people that he wants to work with, speaking whatever language that they're comfortable with being on his album.
Who was it that was on Feedback Loop? Dominican Republic.
Yeah, which is a band in Maine. So man, I don't know how that really ties in, but there's also Asami who is credited on songs like Amita Drive and things like that. So I'm assuming that's kind of where some of this comes from.
It's a very, the differences as well when we're comparing to what's on the peers on here. Like Bigger Boot had elements of chiptune randomly in there, and was you know, compare it more to, I'd say is actually more comparable to We Would Look Back and Love You Forever, with the use of sampling as a kind of major proponent in the album. And then we look at Stomach Book, and that's a deconstructed. This is distortion emo. you call it, and that's why it's more fitting that we have artists like Paranol on here that were more
Yeah.
closer to that sound, that kind of near shoegazy sound in here. But I wouldn't even call this shoegazy. This is just kind of harsh emo.
Yeah, like hardcore emo, like.
Mm.
But again, I just can't get away from the feeling that, like, especially as it goes on, and I think this album does lose me a bit in the second half, especially as you get to songs like Lemuria and Hyperstition.
Yeah, which go on for a little bit too long.
But it's like this is almost impenetrable in certain ways, because even unlike Of Montreal, where Of Montreal can be very pretentious and impenetrable at times because of we don't know what the fuck Kevin Barnes is talking about, but you can listen to enough of Montreal to understand where Kevin is kind of going with what they're saying and what their intentions are, kind of what they mean after a while. And maybe it's because I've not really listened to Nouns before, but like, again, this is like something I don't know if I should be here. And if I'm like in someone's head, I need to like get out before I get consumed by this darkness, basically.
You have become in a state of unsound mind.
Yeah, like it's a really fitting title.
I don't think this is one of my favorite albums of the year or anything. I don't think anything out of this week is. I think this is still one of the more interesting releases this year. I go to question now. I called this Dominic-bait. Where does this go in Dominic's ranking? Is it close? Is it far away? Where is it? Do you even know?
Close to far away to what?
It's just anywhere in your top whatever.
I've already ranked this week because I needed to break it down a little bit. So
that is incredibly fucking fair.
Nouns right now is sitting. I'll give you a couple things that are around it that are actually all from this year. Yep. I am putting Bigger Boot and Petite League ahead of it.
That is the big question I have, is probably Bigger Boot, where you'd put that.
And of course, Postcard Nowhere I have above Bigger Boot, but I'm going to redo this ranking in a couple weeks here. Below it right now, we've got Pup and King Stingray and Prince Daddy and the Hyena.
Damn.
So like, it's kind of up there, but I do have a number of things like Hey I Love You and the Paranol B-sides and the Great Feeder EP that are above it still.
Now, I noticed Trix hasn't really said too much, and I wonder if this is just fucked with her brain as well, this album.
Yeah, this is an album I feel like I should like, but it's not quite hitting right yet, if that makes any sense.
It's not like Paranol, which is the most one, which had that accessibility enough to instantly get into. Paranol actually felt a lot more cleaner in a good way, but also it also felt like a different album, and this one shouldn't be cleaner. I mean, you look at the album on here; it's a very fucking dirty old photo.
Yeah, of his grandparents' wedding day is what he says. Now, I will say, I did buy this album.
So did I.
So like, I did put money down for this, so that does say something.
I think we'll come back to this one in a year and we'll go like, oh, actually, yeah, now I do appreciate this, or now I see what this is, or now I know what it's doing, or we'll never come back to it ever.
You know, when we have our break, maybe I'll just spend some time listening to it more and kind of digesting it better. I do think though that it'll be that second half that really kind of makes or breaks it.
So the best way to describe just what this record is, and it's not one of those ones where I can really do a deep dive into every song, like some albums that we really fucking like to do. It's a broad combination of practically every sound he could be bothered doing, but instead of like in Stomach Booking, which is deconstructed it and then try to make it from piece by piece in this is a case of it's combining them all together in this kind of horrifying monster that's not created out of like old body parts or anything. It's created out of kind of fresher body parts, and then just mixed and mashed into this distorted, thrashy, dance punky at some random fucking times, emo mess that's just harsh. It's really harsh.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, especially when you take a look at some of the content that's talked about lyrically here on there. Like if you go to some of the random lyrics on here, give me a song to look up lyrics from here. I'm on the Bandcamp.
Let's go to Grimmer Heat Haze.
Grimmer Heat Haze. The lyrics. So we'll go here. Here I am, just as the runaway five, stuck in place, a regular kiss, Mr. Disconnect, went to your grave, poured a beer out for you. Whether up or down, I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
That's the type of lyrical content that we're going on. This is a bit of talk, obviously, about death and depression. As a lot of emo albums in this kind of experimental sound usually do, there's no real upside. Even Paranorals talked a lot about anxiety.
But I think I'm legitimately concerned for Hunter. Like, legitimately, though.
Yeah.
Like if we go to Moromi after that, the lyrics, all of the lyrics, opened wide, pray a stray bullet flies by, blow my mind in the countryside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
so, dark album.
Yes, and his life seems to have been going through a lot. And in a way, it's nice that he kind of shared that context and is willing to be so open about it. But, like, I hope that he found whatever he needed to find making this music.
I genuinely, even though this is a hard album to really talk about and stuff, I genuinely recommend it. Listen, this is a pretty unique fucking album for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Favorites, interludes, Sentai Quarry, and feedback loops. And Meter Drive I like as well. Least favorite, probably Nemirian Hyperstition or even the title track, probably.
I like Sentai Quarry and Amita Drive the most, and Interlude's pretty good too. My least favorite's probably Lemurian Hyperstition and Magnificent Steiner.
We'll pretend we heard you, Tricks.
Is that a Lemurian Hyperstition? Is that a favorite or least favorite?
Favorite.
Okay. Anything else?
I was so aggressive. Favorite.
Sorry, I'm trying to like make sure I'm getting through. Like my hands are starting to fall asleep. Like,
yeah, that's
fucking laptop in front of my face.
That's fair.
Any other songs or you like or dislike on this?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, you can tell us. Now, let's flip the page and go to the other emo album, Proper's Great American Novel, my favorite of the week.
Yeah, I kind of, I'm not going to lie, I assumed this would be very high up for you, from the, like, moment I picked this.
Yeah, this is the real Dominic-bait.
Yep. It's fun when I do, it's fun when I say something's Dominic-bait, and then something else is Dominic-bait, because then you don't realize you've been baited. You didn't see that one coming, did you?
Yes and no.
This is the band Proper. They are another Midwest emo act. A big thing about them as well, obviously, is that they speak obviously a lot about Americans. They've obviously talked a lot more about African American issues than a lot of other Midwestern emos have. I think actually in their first ever album or something, they talk about how they don't like I don't know what the best way to use is. They don't like the N-word being used by even themselves. And then in the next album, they went, yeah, actually, no, never mind. I think it's fine for us to use that now. Which I always thought was one of the most interesting progressions that happened with a band over 2 years.
That's fair.
Just like instantly from the next album, they just like immediately put out a song saying, I no longer agree with what I said 2 years ago. And I think that's a lot of character. I'm not saying this in any joke way. I think that's a really interesting and cool thing to kind of just like publicly announce the album later that you don't agree with what you said the previous album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a black queer emo trio. Like, this is like the emo movement, the emo scene is so typified by being like, it's just skinny white people that are sad. And this is a band that is not that.
Yeah, this is probably the most political one.
I mean,
obviously, there's a song McConnell on here, which is just about Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, it's great too. God, this album is so good. Like, because this also goes through a couple different things. Like, it goes more hardcore, a little more thrash metal at times. It also goes a little more emo at times. Like, I know their intention with this one was to get away from the emo sound. They don't do it completely, but I think it's to their benefit.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a concept album in a way of like, you know, if we're talking about the Great American Novel, it's like, you know, these are the things that are holding people back. These are the things that are preventing that achievement, that grand fabled achievement of success and winning at life in America from being real for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Speak up.
Yeah, I get where you're
I am back, by the way. I totally did not go out to get a glass of water.
You're fine.
Yeah. So
So many songs on here are just so good at like talking about specific different things that are like just ultimately wrong with America and like how it treats people, especially like black people.
I mean, the actual like first proper song on here, "Shuck and Jive," is also like a whole dig at music contracts as well.
Yes.
You know, go ahead, just sign the dotted line. Actually, one of my favorites on this. Like, Shuck and Jive and McConnell are probably the best, in my personal opinion.
My favorite's Gene. I love Gene. It's a really good track.
This is one of those albums where we're gonna just have full disagreements on what the best song is, isn't it?
Oh, McConnell's great, but like Gene really hits hard because it's just about how Eric, the singer, is just talking about this person that he knew and how he wishes he could have, you know, seen him again and been with him again, and how he had died and things like that. And then it hits you at the end with like the news announcement about, oh, this was someone that was in like an immigration detainment camp who had like killed themselves or died by suicide, I guess is the way to say that now. And kind of the context of that being thrown on you in a like a really political, interesting way is a really nice, hard-hitting moment that's really stands out among a lot of them.
One thing I'll just like never understand about this band as well is how little listeners they have. Like,
That's the thing.
Is this the greatest Midwest emo album of the year? No, but is it still a really fucking good Midwest emo album from this year? Yeah. And a lot of them have a lot more listens. Like, if I go and take a personal look at my own rankings right here, what I probably have considered the highest, out of all the stuff that's considered emo and everything, Soul Glow is probably the best album of that this year.
See, that's the thing. I would put this above Soul Glow.
You would put this about Soul Glow. I personally wouldn't put. I mean, to reach their own on that.
Like, I like Soul Glow, but I feel like this has a much more expansive kind of, not like a take on what Soul Glow did, but like it does similar things and expands in a really big way.
Well, here's the big question, and this is why this is a big announcement from you here. Soul Glow was your number 3 of your rankings when you did that earlier last month.
Yeah.
So, is this what? Two questions I got here are: what is this ranked for you right now? And what score do you give this album? Because it seems like you have those nearly set in stone here.
So, like I said before, I will redo this list. I want to redo this list at the end of the year because I've put this together progressively over time, and I feel like some of it needs to be reconsidered now that I've listened to a lot more, right? So, yeah. I can say among 2022 stuff, it's number 3 right now, right?
So not above Black Country and obviously not touching Black Midi.
Right, but like, will those two be the 2 at the end? I don't know.
Yeah.
Will I decide that Black Country is the better album and that my favorite's going to override what I think the future of music is? Or is it that I think, Proper is also a really interesting look into the future of what music is going to be, and then I think it does stuff better than Soul Glow does. And that's a lot of things I want to kind of take time to consider and think about. And Petrol Girls is also a really big wild card in there because Petrol Girls is really solid and has stuck with me quite a bit.
As I always say about that Petrol Girls album, it fucks.
Like, that's the thing. It's like this. I think the 5 might be pretty set. It's just the order.
That is bad.
Because like after this, it's like the Chats, and like the Chats is great, but this like it's. I feel like there's a little bit of separation there.
Yeah, that's a fair enough take. Oh, Dominic-bait wins again.
What was your other question?
What score would you give this if you could give it a score right now?
Probably like, I don't know, somewhere between an 8.75 and a 9.
So yeah, you're giving it basically a light 9.
Yeah.
That's fair. Tricks, I probably missed if you said anything here. Is there any song on here that you thought was a big standout? You just agreeing with the fuck Mitch McConnell taglines that are on with this album? Anything else you want to bring?
I'm just gonna be honest.
You're just gonna be honest, and then you stopped.
I couldn't.
You couldn't get into it?
No, I tried. It bummed me too.
You tried and
It bummed me the fuck.
it bummed you the fuck out.
But I just couldn't
You just couldn't.
do it. Like,
You just couldn't do it.
yeah.
Can't do it, man. No way. Not after the way they treated. Which
There,
is basically this album, actually.
But I mean, that's the thing though. Like, I feel like Nouns would be the more of a bummer one in a way, because that's like not political systemic racism,
I think
but like
I think you can understand and relate to a lot more on this album than you'd think from just the context of the band that you'd be able to relate to on this album.
sure. I mean,
That's
not
the
that I
thing.
don't, it's not that I don't relate to it at all. It's just I feel like Nouns as a whole is such a darker bumming out in a sense. I guess, you know, if you're relating more to what's going on here, perhaps.
It's
But
more the instrumentation.
it's more the what?
Instrumentation.
More of the instrumentation on this one.
Yeah.
Got it.
I want to point out as well, the album titled The Great American Novel, you might think might just be a reference to this all being about American politics and stuff. But actually, on their last album, the ending song, I spent a winter writing songs about getting better, they actually talk about writing the Great American Novel and a line in there as well. So it's actually also a reference to their previous work.
And I know they just did they did some touring that seemed pretty successful.
Mm.
And
Yeah, who did they tour with again? If you got the list up, I'll go
I
search
do
it up.
not.
I'm going to search it up right now.
I'm gonna look at their Instagram.
Proper band tour. Who have they toured with recently? Bands in town. Yeah, I believe they're in Australia.
Caterwaller.
Oh, no, actually, no. Sorry. Here's the big thing that we've forgotten to mention. As well is this little tour, and this might spark some memories. Posting it in chat, and then Dominic can talk about it.
It's waiting for it to. Ah, yes, the Glass Beach tour that we saw, in which we saw the Homeless Wear version. We did not see Proper come by.
Yeah, there were some shows where they both toured in the same one, but the one in Chicago was only Homeless Wear.
Yeah, from Detroit to Chicago to Minneapolis to Denver. Those last 4 shows, Proper was not there, which is a shame.
Which is it would have been
that would have
been
changed
great
a
to
lot.
see.
Yeah.
You would have been the one picking Proper.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, they did tour with Algernon Caterwaller and Freezing Cold.
Yeah, that would
looks like.
I can't pronounce that one, but that one is usually considered like the band in the emo revival scene.
So they are definitely getting some attention. They are getting they're touring with some of those bands and are getting more notice. Also, on this Instagram page, Eric does talk about getting diagnosed with autism at a later stage in life. That's interesting too. Talking about seeing Elon Musk hosting SNL and kind of that inspiring him to get like tested, I guess, or get the diagnosis.
That's that's one of the weirder ones to get inspired by. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess whatever works.
Yeah.
I mean, if I saw someone dressed up as Wario doing that really shitty thing and laughed at it, I might get myself tested. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't think my first check wouldn't be I'm gonna go check up for autism. I might be just trying to check if I have a sense of humor.
But you know, he's promising that the new LP is going to be about that, which is I'm interested to hear.
Yeah, well, nothing strikes me that they haven't been writing stuff that isn't personal to them the whole time, at least out of all the stuff that I've listened to. So, good album, good band.
This is like a really promising band. I really want to dive more. And now, and even on the Insta, they're calling themselves prog rock now.
It's a little bit of prog that I guess they try with their instrumentation, but I still wouldn't call them that.
Like I think they're trying to get away from the emo scene, even though I think them being in the emo scene would be like a nice counterpoint to all the skinny white people. You know, like
which might be why they're trying to get out of the emo scene. But yeah,
right. But yeah, this is really good, and I really want to look more into Proper. You bamboozled me again.
I'll do that.
However, will I get my revenge?
Favorites and least favorites. I'll let you pick first to get your revenge. If you want.
Oh,
Stop
I
me from
mean,
being able to go. Oh,
I will get my revenge. Just you wait.
yeah.
My favorites
Favorites
are
and
gonna
least
be.
favorites?
Oh, I mean, Gene, Americana, and McConnell are easily my 3 favorites. My least favorites, maybe the routine.
I'm going to agree with the least favorite. I'm going to attach Shuck and Jive and Yeah, I'm Good as the favorites on here. I actually really like the ending. It's kind of like a little soft emotional moment at the end of the album. And then Tricks, you're just going to do Blender to get out of picking?
Milk and Honey stood out.
Ah, never mind.
Hey, there we go. I also will say, because we've gotten to this point now, you both know that I do playlist for each episode where I put a couple tracks from each episode on the playlist. And I was having a hard time picking which proper song I wanted, and also what other song could go with it, because I was stuck between Exit for Sale or Meet a Drive. And Exit for Sale loses again in favor of Gene and a Meet a Drive.
Rip Exit for Sale. Oh well, time for the last little thing to do on here, which will
Last
probably
not
be really
least,
quick.
Shakey Graves, Look Alive.
Yeah, it exists. I don't hate it. I mean, I've probably been Stockholm Syndromed into listening to Shakey Graves. I'm still not a big fan of him, nor do I really care. I thought it was interesting that Phineas O'Connell had done some of the production on here.
Yeah.
I didn't think he really added much onto it, though, to be honest. And like, was there an attempt for this to be a bit more ambient than other Shakey Graves? Yeah, on Look Alive there was be, but they didn't really kind of continue to be that anyway, so it kind of just fell out. And now we just have an EP that's full of some more Shakey Graves songs, and yeah, that's about it. If we cover this in 2020, and it was our first Shakey Graves, maybe I'd have more to talk about, because I would probably try and listen to Shakey Graves more in a year to add into the shortlist. But now we've just kind of got this, and there's been so much Shakey Graves. There has been so much Shakey Graves. Tricks, why has there been so much Shakey Graves?
I like it.
Are we almost finally fucking done with Shakey Graves this year, or are you gonna still pull out another fucking one somehow? Be like, oh yeah, actually, this is on Shakey Graves Day. It's that one time that fucking Shakey Graves fucking sang in the shower and for fucking 5 ants in the goddamn thing. And then one of them picked up his goddamn guitar, and then some fucking candid photographer was actually taping it the whole time and posted it on his Instagram. Yeah, that's gotta be on Shakey Graves Day, isn't it?
You know, you're gonna tempt her if you say more.
Yeah.
I at this point, I just want it all done. Alright? I don't even hate Shakey Graves anymore. I just think he's just there. Man, this is how much it's gone. I don't know what to fucking think anymore, and it would just all be done, and I don't have to do it. And then Shakey Graves are announced Shakey Graves Day 2, and then what the fuck am I supposed to do?
I mean, looking at everything we've done, this is the most current thing. Roll the Bones X did come out later, but that's a re-release with like a bunch of other stuff. So we don't know if he'll be more dark and ambient on his next project. I do want to point that out.
Good.
He very well could. That being said, this is my favorite EP of the week.
Oh.
I really like Look Alive. I think that's a really nice change of pace for him. I think the production from Phineas does make it stand out in being a little more complex instrumentally. Obviously, he's come a long way from just doing his acoustic stuff. But the acoustic stuff does make a resurgence by the time you get to Not Everything Grows. The recipe's a bit more of that simplistic stuff too. Under the Hood doesn't stand out as much for me, but I do think Look Alive, the recipe, and Not Everything Grows are really, really strong.
Yeah.
The recipe being a song about like change and nothing quite tastes the same anymore and nothing quite is right the way it was. These are... What was that? Tricks?
Tricks is dead. Tricks is dead.
I kind of...
Might as well just type it into the chat and I could read it for you.
As she types that, I really I'm trying to find more things to say about this. So this wasn't a week that was hard to listen to. It was just a week where we had a lot to do. So it's kind of like, all right, well, we listened to this, and like I'm saying again, I don't hate this. It's just more country that I'm not really into.
I mean, I think
is Look Alive actually interesting compared to everything else on the CP. Yeah.
I mean, I think for your sake, it's best that we have at least localized most of the country to one artist.
Basically, yeah. I'm not going. We ain't going with that fucking. What's that annoying "Am I the Only One" song? Who the fuck did that one? I gotta go check that. That was the one that I saw that was fucking Aaron Lewis. That was the cunt. That thankfully doesn't get played in Australia because we would just tell them to fuck off. Basically, we're not into that style. But that one I saw in a lot of people's least favorites list, and that's this kind of whole like real conservative country shit. And
Yeah.
if either of you pick that, I'm leaving the podcast.
I don't think I would have a reason to pick it unless there was a really weird angle that I would want to bring it for, which
Same here.
I'd be hard pressed to find.
Yeah.
Like, I bent it enough picking Trixie Mattel for the Shakey Graves angle. Like that's something I don't think I ever would have picked otherwise. But as far as this goes, I think this is a nice little thing to end on for this episode because it's nice. I like it. You know, it was a pretty solid collection of tracks. You know, it like obviously Nouns is a greater work in terms of scope and scale, but the consistency and quality of these tracks made it more for me than that. It was more impressive for me in that sense.
I got nothing else to say. I'm happy to fucking end this goddamn.
Yeah,
It's the
my
episode.
arms are tired.
I got food to eat.
All right, I like Look Alive. I like the recipe the most. My least favorite's Under the Hood.
Least favorite, I'll agree. Favorite is Look Alive.
The recipe is my favorite.
Recipe is your favorite. Any least favorites?
No.
Okay.
Well, Trix, I'm going to request that you go get your pick and you go just start typing it in the goddamn chat now so that we can just read it out for you.
Yeah, can you please? You saw as more of a song about depression, maybe the recipe. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so while you're writing down your picks in the chat, I'll go first.
Oh, we're doing the rankings, obviously.
Right, that's what I mean. The rankings. Bottom to top. Here we go. Number 9, The Frights. Number 8, Beach Bunny. Number 7, Joy Again. Number 6, Joe P. Number 5, Dr. Dog. Number 4, Nouns. Number 3, Arlie. Number 2, Shakey Graves. Number 1, Proper.
So I'm doing this in a way that's not including the songs either, so we're just going to go from 9th first. 9th is unsurprisingly The Frights. 8 I'm actually going to put as Joy Again. And then 7, I am going to put as Shakey Graves. Number 6, I am then probably going to put as the Arlie album. No. Yeah, I'd probably put number 6 as the Arlie, number 5 is Beach Bunny, but they're not too far away from each other. Number 4, I am then going to pick as the... I haven't picked the Dr. Dog yet, have I?
Nope.
Yeah, I'll put the Dr. Dog around there. Number 3 then is going to be Joe P. And then it's like, do I think Proper or Nouns is better? They're pretty close to me. But I'll let Dominic have some happiness, and I'll make his favorite my favorite of the week as well.
Number 2 for you is Nouns. Number 1 is Proper.
Yeah.
All right. Now Trix is typing things out. I'll read it.
So
the bottom.
yeah.
I'm assuming that the bottom is the number 1's the bottom.
You want to do number 9? You want to do the odds, and I'll do the evens, Dominic. Make it even funner.
Sure. Number 9, The Frights.
Number 8, Proper.
Number 7, Beach Bunny.
Number 6, Nouns.
And number 5, Arlie.
Number 4, Shakey Graves. Number
3, Dr. Dog.
And number 2 is Joe P, which means that number 1 has to be
Joy Again. Of all things, Joy Again. All right.
That was fun. All right, so we're picking stuff, and I'm gonna go last. I already said I'm gonna do some EPs. So
Chick says she likes that EP so much, so
yeah, that's fair enough. Who wants to pick first, Dominic or Trix?
let's have Trix pick first. Says she's already typing.
Yeah, she be typing. It be a long type. We are waiting for the results.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Rush is a farewell to kings and hemispheres. Is Trix's pick.
That is definitely an interesting pick.
Finish what we started. Yes, the Cygnus X1 saga now in its full context. Is that it?
I'm just gonna have to. It tell me it's like, hey, you need to. Fuck that. It's fucked up on me. It said, hey, you've already added some of these. It's like, yeah, I wonder why.
Yes. So Trix has picked Farewell to Kings and Hemispheres by Rush. Okay, for me, I've been following this artist on Bandcamp for the last year, and I wasn't going to pick him because I wasn't sure if he'd be there yet. But a couple weeks ago, he asked very nicely if all of his followers could share his music with one person. And since I know 2 people that listen to music with me, I figured I'd share it with both of you and the podcast at large.
Fair
Talking,
enough.
of course, about the Bandcamp artist only on Bandcamp. Gnosis is alive, and they have a handful of EPs we're going to do. The Gnosis is Alive self-titled EP from last November, the December EP from last December. There's a Creature Highway single from February, a Windows EP from February, and lately, his new Crushes EP from this month. Now,
Cool.
this is, of course, an 18-year-old who's doing an acoustic guitar bit. That's not necessarily going to win the week, not necessarily going to impress everybody. I want to do it anyway because he seems like he needs the attention, and I kind of like the music enough to give it a shot. That being said, I'm gonna give you a treat, Ritz.
Is this the revenge?
Actually, no. The revenge was picking Gnosis is Alive.
Ah, okay.
But the treat for you is I'm also picking Wildflower by the Avalanches.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful album. I might just listen to Wildflower the whole time, and then when everyone's like, what did you listen to this week? Just Wildflower. And you remember how I said I was only going to pick one album each week? That is true. That is true from now on. I'm only going to pick one album because EPs do not count. EPs really do not count, do they? They are not albums. So go fuck yourself.
They're not albums.
So we're going to start this off, and I'm just going to post a couple of albums that I've decided to do, and I'll give a little bit of happiness as well with these picks and these EPs. So to the one person who actually suggested one of them to be listened to, and I'm just trying to get this fucking thing up before I actually.
Trix has said fuck. I don't know what the fuck is for. I'm assuming because I picked the Avalanches, but we'll see.
Well, Trix is typing. I'm gonna wait for this before actually. No, the EP bit. Well, it's not gonna be that bad. I'm only picking 3 albums, 3 EPs here. Sorry, I keep calling them albums. The first one is Thelma Plum's new EP, the Meanjin EP. I'm also gonna go back to an artist that we haven't covered in a while, and I'll pick the Wombats EP that they released earlier this month as well, like practically last week. Is this what it feels like to feel like this? And I'm then going to end it off with Tropical Fuckstorm's Moonburn EP. Now, you keep noticing how I kept saying I was only going to pick one album, not going to pick EPs, blah, blah, blah. And I've decided there's something that came out this year that we never covered, and we probably should have covered, because absolutely every part of this makes me scream. This is one of those random, I can't pronounce R's correctly, random things that we should have been covering, because, well, it has an artist on there that we kind of really grown to love ever since they were introduced. And I'm just waiting until like Dominic goes, oh, I know what you're picking, me sir, and I was hoping that it is. So do you want to take a guess, Dominic? Because if you get it, I'm not going to change it. And if you don't get it, I'm not going to change it. Let's take a guess.
Would it be the Asian Glow and Paranoid collaboration?
No. It would be the Never Erased compilation album that has Weekend Run Club on it.
Oh.
Oh.
Yep. We completely missed that this came out and never picked it.
Yeah.
So
no, we didn't.
I'm now saying, yeah, we're doing it.
Okay.
Okay.
Nothing else. That's it. That's it. See you later, kids. So you want to do the wrap up here?
Yeah. All right. So this all comes out to being from Trix, Rush albums A Farewell to Kings and Hemispheres. From me, Wildflower by the Avalanches, as well as the discography of Gnosis is Alive, including the Gnosis is Alive EP, the December EP, the Creature Highway single, the Windows EP, and the Crutches EP. I stress again, I'm pretty sure this is only available on Bandcamp.
All right.
From
I will
Ritz.
check right now.
From Ritz. Thelma Plum's Mean Gin EP from Thelma Plum. The Wombats, Is This What It Feels Like to Feel Like This? If I got that correct.
Yep.
And that's an EP. And the Tropical Fuckstorm's Moonburn EP. And also the Never Erased compilation from various artists, including Weekend Run Club and many others. I think
I've been
we'll do.
Villain. You can catch me on my website, villainforkids.co.uk. I also have a YouTube channel in the description below. I needed to fill that awkward silence with something.
I guess it does it for us, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. We got it covered.
I'm Dominic. You can catch me.
It's just a 2-hour episode, man.
You can catch me online at DACICHOCKI on Twitter and Dominic Chakotay on YouTube. Also, I'm on the Games My Mom Found podcast here and there.
And Trix is kind of like distorted out there, so just Dissonant Waves of Space or Square Space, whatever it was.
Dissonant.space. We have a Redbubble account, I think. Our merch on Redbubble.
Buy our merch. Trix is typing, Cricket is typing in. I am so fucking hungry right now.
You can catch her on
Clock Bitches.
Procrastronaut _ on Twitter. That's Trix's thing, and there's going to be more information in the description below. But this is only going to be an hour and a half podcast, so that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to us talk. We'll see you next time for tea. Toodaloo.
Have a good one.